Right, it's 10 o'clock. Welcome, all of you, to the International Force Rate Timeline. Haven't done a live one for some time, primarily because, well, poor turnout, but I've had things which I wanted to do which were best pre-recorded. I've also been doing a lot of other things besides the Force Rate Timeline. My health hasn't been so good, certainly since my accident 2 years ago. Feel free to ask me any questions. This is, I call this open house, but it's really going to be catch up with the backlog. A lot of things to discuss, well, a lot of things to talk about, which no doubt you can join in for a bit of discussion. Just copy that. I can open this one and edit it at my leisure. Right. There'll be lots of stories in the news. Rolf Harris, you may recall, who was, until a few years ago, a household, well, he's still a household name, but not for the wrong reasons. He was an A-list entertainer, and he was utterly destroyed by the Operation U2 witch hunt. After his conviction on all 12 counts, I wrote to him. Will we be getting the verdict of Depp Heard tonight? I don't think we will. I looked in on it. I'll certainly be writing about it, and maybe, well, definitely be discussing it at some point, adding it to the timeline. Amber Heard appears to be a particularly odious individual. I think Depp is a sad case, but I don't believe any of the stuff. Any of the stuff I heard about. Well, she's been exposed. She's been exposed. Her lies have been exposed. You know, she told so many lies. I just don't believe the sexual assault claims or anything else. Pardon me. Oh, who else? I don't know who else is there, but welcome. Oh, he's gone now. Rolf Harris, yeah, I mean, he wasn't accused of rape. Not rape would be what I would say, but he had a relationship with the daughter of with a defender of his daughter Bindi for many years, and that was she turned against him and claimed he'd abused her from the age of 13, which is all garbage. But after his conviction, I did some research at the time, and the Lee Park incident, in which he was meant to have indecently assaulted a young girl, clearly didn't happen. He wasn't there. There was no evidence he was there. Yet for some reason, the police charged him. The CPS had okayed it. The barrister, the prosecution proceeded with it. The judge admitted it, and the jury convicted. I mean, it's just absolutely ludicrous. I wrote to Harris, and well, what happened was after the David Lee Travis trial, I've actually put this on my main website. The letter I received from Bruce Harris, Rolf's brother, now deceased. And it's on the Force Rate Timeline. That you'll find it at. It gives the URL for it. That's the URL. After the David Lee Travis trial, DLT thanked, among others, William Merritt, who was an investigator. I wrote to Harris, advised him to hire Merritt, which he did, and one of the convictions was quashed. Anyway, Merritt has just published a book on the case. Last month, April, I had an email from, I don't know if you're familiar with Shaun Attwood. He runs a true crime podcast, a crime podcast, put it that way. I've spoken to him before. Well, I've contacted one of his assistants before with no luck. But I had an email from one of his assistants, a bloke with something, suggesting I might like to come on the program. And on April the 25th, 20:47 hours, I had a phone call from Attwood. He was driving his car, so presumably he was using hands-free mobile. And he suggested I come on his podcast at Guildford, which was like for the following Monday. So it was actually a bank holiday. Oh, excuse me, just Coke. Well, Guildford is further than I thought it was. So I suggested different. Well, we had problems with trains and everything. Suggested a different time, Banstead, which is nearer. And I sent him the link for the Harris book. I've heard nothing since. He wanted somebody. Well, no. What actually happened? What actually I think dissuaded him was he wanted somebody to give an opposing view, and he suggested John Wedger, who is a nutter, absolute nutter, former police officer, but still a nutter. I sent Attwood my correspondence with Sabine McNeil, who's currently serving a 9-year sentence, and I never heard anything back. And he's done a program on Harris, which I haven't watched, but they've done what's called a documentary on Jimmy Savile, and I managed to watch all the way through, and it's complete and utter rubbish, absolute rubbish. He had Mark Williams Thomas on there, who is the man responsible for this garbage. He says Thomas claimed to be the man who exposed Britain's most prolific paedophile. No, actually. And they just all sorts of rubbish. That Matthew Steeples on there, and one or two other people. And they claim one of the claims they made was that Savile got a girl pregnant. There was never any evidence of this. There was a claim that he'd raped a 12-year-old girl in the hospital, and the girl had told a nurse who'd hushed it up, "You'll get me into trouble." I mean, and all the stuff about Duncroft. Around an hour and 34 minutes into the so-called documentary, they said it was revealed that there was a claim. The CPS said that Savile was too old and infirm to prosecute. In actual fact, that was a fake letter that was circulated after his death by these women from Duncroft who accused him 30 and 40 years on. And there were claims that he was engaged in necrophilia in the hospital mortuaries. Absolute, complete rubbish. Williams Thomas said that he didn't believe. Well, he said we can't substantiate any of this, but they didn't stop the other people from making these claims. And Williams Thomas also suggested Savile might have had a incestuous relationship with his mother. I was just absolute ludicrous, total rubbish. I really don't know where they get these. I don't know, but the whole documentary is all about that. It's ludicrous innuendo. But there are lots of other cases in the news. There's one here I found, I think I found this today or yesterday. It's about, this is a false rape allegation by a dude. I think it's just a case of sending poison pen letters or false letters to the police. Tom Fletcher, stalker accused McFly's Tom Fletcher, and obsessed stalker accused McFly's Tom Fletcher and actor Cameron Blakely of child abuse. This is a bloke called Darcy, alias Robert Haywood, who's been making false allegations against celebrities left, right, and centre. So believe all women are supposed to now believe all men. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to do early, but this could discuss the Satanist abusers named. Oh yeah, the rain list. I haven't looked at that for a while, but the rain list. Yeah, these are rubbish. What do you want to discuss about them? Remind me of the rains list again. That's the TV documentary. Yeah, I've heard of these things, but I mean, basically, there are a lot of people out there who are not right in the head, seriously not right in the head, men as well as women, and there are people who make allegations just for the sake of it. For men in positions of power, let's just have a see if I can find this range list. For men in positions of power, these are often allegations of sexual impropriety. For women who make positions of power, it could be like usually there are allegations that a woman has prostituted herself to get where she is, or I just run it through Google, or that she's, there's range list, a long list of sexual abuse allegations. There's all sorts of them. The bottom line of all these is that they make a lot of allegations, but anybody can make allegations, and at the end of the day, you've got allegations, and sometimes these come from people who have, they have the veneer of authority. A great example is Ted Gunderson. There's a documentary on Gunderson. I uploaded it to the Internet Archive in one part, but it's in two parts. It's by the Satanic Temple. If you haven't heard of the Satanic Temple, don't be put off by the name. It isn't the Satanic Temple. It's a documentary called what's it called now? Death of a Public Paranoid. It was after Gunderson died. Gunderson was an FBI agent with a track record. In fact, at one point, he was being mooted as director of the FBI. But after, check it out. Check it out. It's a great. It's sort of an illustrated speech by the guy who runs the Satanic Temple, and he made lots of all sorts of allegations. Now, I understand people, especially got this deep state thing in the United States. I can understand people believing all manner of allegations against high and mighty, the government collusion, and that we're seeing this with the election, the 2020 election, and with the Hunter Biden laptop and that. But these people, they go so far over the top that I've got some satanic ritual abuse stuff on the timeline. There's that woman from Australia, Fiona Bartlett, I think her name is. She's really totally gone, and pardon me. They make these allegations, which so at the end of the day they produce little or nothing. And there have been cases of actual abuse which have been disguised as or being passed off as satanic abuse was the Broxteth estate case near Nottingham, in or near Nottingham, which there was actual sexual abuse there, but there was nothing satanic about it. What we got here? We've got another thing here. This is from France. This is minister. French minister refuses to stand down over allegations. My machine's a bit slow for the moment. Oh yes, Damien Abad appointed to the new government. He appears to be disabled. Yeah, I think he looks disabled anyway. He's been accused of it's disabled. 2 women accused him of rape in 2010 and 2011. In other words, they come forward and accuse him now of raping them 11 and 12 years ago. These are so easy to make. If you with regard to delayed allegations, there are 3 cases on the timeline which are not delayed allegations, which I always allude to. One is an allegation of indecent assault against a police officer in Palm Beach, California, in February 1996, where he stops his female motorist, and he's got the dash cam running. The quality of the dash cam was absolutely horrible in those days, but he gives her a ticket. She goes to the police station and accuses him of indecently assaulting her, and then they show the video. And the 2 other cases, there's a case of Andrew Bond, who was charged with raping, had sex with a woman in her flat. This speared an incredibly, a very, very credible allegation, because she reported it immediately. And there was another one from Hull, from Humberside, a bloke named Dawes, Dawes, who was accused of violating a young woman named Osborne. And what happened? They went back to his place and they had sex in his mother's bed, in his parents' bed. She claimed he raped her in an alleyway, already raped her in an alleyway. And the police they sent in the hazmat team, the forensics boys in hazmat suits, and they did a really spectacular job. They found a fiver from one of her socks. And those 3 cases, I always think, when there's any purported delay allegation, ask yourself what would have happened if this allegation if these allegations had been made months or years down the line. It would be her word against his, and why would a woman lie? So that's Kevin Spacey's in the news. He's been charged with. He's in the United States at the moment, but he's been charged apparently with some quite serious sexual offences in the UK. Whether or not they come back, I don't know. There's but some of those cases are. I mean, I just don't know. There's a DJ named Tim Westwood, accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women, and these are allegations which have just come forward. There's one here from. I'll see if this video will play. This is a woman making an allegation. It's June. This is I think it was 2020, but this is I think this is quite a bit older than that. Listen to this. Here we go. I think.
And when I got there, he was in a car. It's an assumption, a complete assumption I've made, that we're going somewhere to talk about the music. So I don't ask where we're going. And then the next thing, he's undone his trousers. He actually tapped me to turn around and look at the fact that he's exposing himself. So I've looked and I've seen, and I'm like, oh no, oh no, like, oh my God.
Either you believe that or you don't. Personally, I don't. But you get one come forward, then another, and then another, and another. And people are deceived by this garbage. Yeah, it's a Guardian article. It's what's it called? DJ Tim Westwood accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women. I mean, when I finish this live stream, I'll make it private and I'll upload it to my main channel. I'll probably add some to my full scope channel. I'll probably edit it a bit, and maybe add some stuff. There's another one here. This is from Canada. I think it's Canada. It's just absolutely these pathetic women. Yeah, she's Luc Besson. Oh yes, he's one of the guys who's been accused of this Epstein thing. I think it's Epstein. I think it's part of the Epstein thing. Dismissal of rape in favour of Luc Besson. Decision on appeal on Tuesday. The Paris Court of Appeal is due to rule on Tuesday on the dismissal for rape ordered in December by an investigating judge in favour of director Luc Besson, an emblematic case in the #MeToo era. I think it's just one actress. Yeah, I think it's just one actress accused him. So may not be quite may not be quite in the Epstein league. I will do something on the range list at some point, but I've got a lot to I've got other things to do as well. I'm editing 2 books as well. I'm indexing 2 books. I was just finished indexing one today, but we've got other things to do. Cashing on the casting couch. I'll make a note of that. Cashing on the casting couch. Oh yeah. I see what it's a joke. Yeah. I mean, some of these women make are so absolutely ridiculous. There's a Tory MP being accused of rape. You've probably seen that. Accused of applying for 4 men with date rape drugs. 4 men. Some crazy woman has served Elon Musk with that's a few months ago actually. But I only found it the other day. Elon Musk, who's well in the news now. This is some anonymous woman who's filed a civil suit against him. Well, yeah, Elon Musk served with lawsuit of alleging rape. The world's richest man. It's an ongoing suit between Musk and an unnamed woman. It's Jane Doe. I don't know if he knew this woman. These women there. But my own view is that there is something to be said for anonymity. Certainly with underage, when kids are involved. But no way should a woman ever be allowed to file a civil lawsuit anonymously. No way ever. Sorry. No. If she's going to alleged rape, she should go to the police. She hasn't gone to the police for an obvious reason. There's a really weird case from the Isle of Wight. I did attempt to chase this up, but I may try to chase up the guy accused. There's a bloke accused of a number of rapes against different women over a period of years. More victims of rape, sexual. Oh, was it? No. This is. No. This is a different article. I think. No, this is a different article. Which is another of these ludicrous attempts to bolster rape convictions. But there was a case. A bloke from the Isle of Wight was accused of sexual offences against a number of women over a period of years. The case came to trial, and it was dropped. I tried to chase it up. I mean, the UK isn't like the United States, where the police relieve bundles of material, and the authorities. I don't know if the women were actually raped, and they've come to the conclusion that he didn't do it, or if some or all of them were liars. I just don't know. There's a horrible case here from. I say horrible. This is from Louisiana Herald. This is absolutely. Come on, it's so slow. Sorry about it being so slow. Woman has sex with brother, files false rape complaint. I mean, seriously. Absolutely. There's another one from Africa, from Kenya or somewhere, similar to that, which how depraved can you get? We do have lots of info here in the public domain, but where are you based, may I ask? Are you in the UK or? Oh right, you're in Louisiana, yeah. Yeah, it varies from state to state. Well, the legal, the whole thing is very different there. The big issue, of course, is guns. I understand where Americans come from. They, especially the lunatics in charge at the moment, that they don't want to give up their guns. But I don't like the idea of walking down the street and being shot. I mean, people being shot here. There was actually a guy about 3 years ago. He managed to shoot himself. Literally at the bottom of my road. I live in Venner Road. If you look up Venner Road, if you look up, I'll come to you in a minute, Mr. Moriarty. If you look up Venner Road on YouTube, you'll find this bloke. He was breaking into a car and managed to shoot himself. The conviction rate for rape too low, unless psychic. How can they possibly know? It could be too high, or exactly right. Yeah. I've no doubt that some rapes do go unreported, but I don't believe this garbage that the majority of rapes are committed by people known to the victim, or that most rapes are not reported. One of my videos, I think it's the video I made about called "The Framing Around Your Chromo." At the end, there's I found this from Egypt. There's a woman walking down a back street. It's just, a public camera. Not a young woman, but not old. She's carrying a shopping bag. And a young bloke walks up behind her, gooses her, grabs her by the butt, and she turns around, whacks him with a shopping bag, and continues to whack him. And this is like Egypt, where women are so oppressed. The Islamic Republic of Egypt, the patriarchy is in control. This is an oppressed Islamic woman. So no, I'm sorry, no. And if you look on YouTube, other sites, but especially YouTube, of course, the video of the wall, you'll find lots of videos of women hitting men. There's some great, well, I say great videos of alarming incidents. There's a bloke in the United States a while back. There's a girl. Pardon me. She's sitting on in a green sort of traffic eye. The guy gets out of his car to attack her with a knife, and she fights him off. And there's another one of a 12-year-old girl in Derby here. Some low life decides to mug her for a phone. This is again caught on CCTV. And he walks up to her, grabs her phone, and she fights like a tigress, you know. Because you wouldn't let go of it, and eventually got away. Excuse me about that. It was just, what was this? And she got. He ended up with a 3-year sentence. Let's have a look at see if we've got anything from Louisiana. I've got some cases from Louisiana. Louisiana. One from 2017. Sherry Penton of Denham Springs, Louisiana, said to be raped in the back of a vehicle by a lawman. Turned out she met him through a dating app, and she was charged. I think another recent one. Diane Keel of Covington, Louisiana, allegedly robbed and raped her own home by an intruder. She has physical injuries. No mention of rape kit. The police appear to be suspicious at the start, and eventually she was charged with false reporting. And the most recent one, at West Monroe, Louisiana, a dude claims a child is being. This is just some idiot making. What's the first one I got from that state? 1958. William Lott. That's check that out. July the 24th, 1958. I'll give you the direct link. Well, I'll give you the timeline link. Amber Heard, yeah. Mr. Didymus has asked about Amber Heard. I think the jury's still out, isn't it? I'll certainly be writing about it for the Duran, but I'll also discuss it. I'll definitely be adding her to the timeline because she's made false allegations. I mean, the allegation sexual assault. I take it you heard that her former assistant claimed that she had heard that she stole her story. She said when she was young, she was raped at knife point in Brazil, and Heard stole her story. She also claimed, pardon me, Depp violated a bottle or something. I mean, really, Heard she looks $1 million, you know. I mean, she's not as young as she was, but she's 98 out of 100 in anyone's book on looks. But when you said that, you said it all. So I will be doing something about Amber Heard. Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to tell, well, I mean, if you're going to tell a story which will have physical evidence, I mean, seriously. Luc Besson, this is another Parisian journalist. I think it's 20 women accuse TV journalist Pauvre Devore of rape, sexual assault. And she's 20 women dating back to 1985. Oh, seriously. No, yeah. One final word about allegations of historicity, and especially with regard to alcohol. on the timeline, the case of the American footballer Rodney Thornton. Rodney Thornton? I think it's Rodney Thornton. No, Rodney Anderson. Yeah, it's the entry for December 4th, 2017. This is an important link. I'll give you this link. It's very slow. That's why it's so slow tonight. Here we are. This link. Anytime you hear the word alcohol, remember this case. Follow the links, especially to the case of the woman on the train and to Operation Matisse. The Thornton case, he picks up this white slut named Courtney something. She accused him of fiddling, digitally penetrating her. A couple of weeks later, and it turned out that she'd sent text messages to a friend on the night. And what happens, I've said this before, I'll keep saying it. Women don't have the same capacity for men for drink. Not to mention drink success either. I gave up alcohol in January 1986. But what happens is they act normally, and they can appear sober, but the short-term memory doesn't translate into long-term memory. And what happens is that they have these flashbacks. They can be days, weeks, months, years, even decades later. And the flashbacks are not real. They're false memories. Check out also my full fact timeline on. You'll find. I'll give you a link to all the pages. I'll be adding this one here at some point. But this covers confabulation and stuff. This is a direct link. These are all on the Internet Archive. The important one is give one specifically on confabulation. We believe the children. That's a good, yeah. But we believe the children. That covers. You get these women come forward in later life. They claim to have been sexually abused. They claim to have been sexually abused when they were younger. This is from 2019. And the real, no problem. Any of you want to contact me direct, you've got my email. They have these flashbacks, and because they're not lying in the set, like they create these false memories. This is something which is, Sigmund Freud, when he published back in 1895, that's on the timeline as well, the etiology of hysteria. They think these memories are real, but they're not, and they end up with. I dread to think how many men are in prison for imaginary offences. There's one, I won't name him because I worked out his accuser was his sister. He was over 50 when his sister accused him of abusing him from his ages from 14 to 18. She was a bit younger. And the guy ended up with an 11-year sentence. And it's sad that what these prosecutors go for, they produced. I don't know. Just it's outrageous that they do these things. Yeah, great. I need documentation. You've got documentation. Official documentation is even better. There was some. Oh, I'm feeling hot now. There's some official documentation on the site, as you'll find. There's some cases of men who forwarded me stuff, and police have I've got stuff online as well, judgments and that. But yeah, I mean, it's just I don't believe most of these things. There's so much here. Where are we now? Yeah, so it's at 2MP. I've got a URL here. I don't know what that's for. Let's have a look. How did this for? Oh yes, this is. I won't play it, but I'll give you the link. This is amazing. This is Bettina Arndt. If you haven't heard of her, she's an amazing woman back down in Australia. She's 70 something now. She interviewed a woman whose son was accused of licking a young girl or something like that. The poor guy spent 7 months in prison, and it reminded me of a case from South Carolina of a bloke who was running a Sunday school. A 4-year-old girl told on the Monday told her mother that he'd taken off her clothes and licked her. So they took the kid to the doctor and checked her, and nothing wrong there. He was arrested, and it turned out that being in Sunday school and being like the modern age, everything was on CCTV, apart from him, because he wasn't there. He ended up suing the police and got something like $250,000. But it's just amazing how many men who've been accused of things which they couldn't refute. And again, it's why would a woman lie? Why would a child lie? And it's it really is heartbreaking, some of these things. I've got a note here, AOC. Yeah. Alexandra Caggio Cortez, she appeared on some program. Yeah, awful, quite agree. Alexandra Caggio Cortez, she's making this claim again that she was sexually assaulted when she was younger. I made a video about her called "The False Fact Timeline Calls Out Alexandra Caggio Cortez." Any of you interested in Prince Andrew? I have an idea that his false accuser, Virginia, the former Virginia Roberts, will at some point be called to account, because it's looking increasingly now like that photograph was a fake, and she wasn't called as a witness in the Epstein trial because she's admitted doing things she's accused Andrew of doing, of grooming, of recruiting young underage girls. And Lady Victoria Harvey is still on the case. I sent her an email. She didn't respond. She responded to my previous emails, but she didn't respond to my last one. But I have an idea that she's that woman, Virginia Giuffre, is riding for a fall. Let's have a look at some of the files I've got here. I think that news. Oh yeah, the incest one. Oh no, yes, this is from Liberated Zimbabwe. Yes, another incest. Oh, cousins this time. I suppose having sex with your cousin isn't as bad as having sex with your brother. I mean, Queen Victoria actually married her cousin. So. Yeah. Well, what happened with that case, Mr. Moriarty, is that I've made some videos on this, and it really is outrageous. First of all, there was Andrew met Epstein. There's no and there was no mention of the photograph. When the photograph came to light, there was you find these articles on the web, or if you have Newsbank, that's she initially there was no claim that he'd done anything wrong. Then, about 4 or 5 years later, she was claiming that she'd been had sex with her. After Andrew's denial, it may, but if that photograph is a fake, I mean, I think the reason it was settled, the reason that Lady Colin Campbell has done a lot on this. Check out her. Yeah, I'm glad. Well, anytime I look at that photograph, I think of the fact I'm giving my age away here, but I'm 66 in August. But you may remember John Gacy, the serial killer who was executed in 1994. In 1978, he was arrested he ended up being charged with murdering 33 young men and boys. But a few months before he was arrested, Gacy was active in Democratic politics at the local level. A few months before he was arrested, he was photographed with Rosalind Carter, who was then First Lady of the United States. And whenever I think of that photograph, I think of Gacy with Rosalind Carter. I mean, does that mean she was involved in his murders? No, she doesn't. Andrew does look slightly uncomfortable, but Lady Victoria Harvey says that is a the original photograph can't be found. That's the main thing. I think the reason they settled is because it's the Queen. I mean, the Queen is celebrating 70 years on the throne this year. She came to the throne in February 1952 on the death of her father, and she's just lost her husband of 70 years, and Andrew's her favourite son, and the whole thing would have overshadowed the Jubilee. I think they were counting on this. I think what is more disgraceful is the way Andrew's been treated by all these charities and that who disowned him. Yeah. I mean, it's check out Lady Colin Campbell. She's got some. I don't agree with everything she says, but she's spot on with this. Spot on with it. She's made some stuff about that. One of the things she made, the point she made was that we know that when Roberts was in, the then Victoria Roberts was in London, it was March 2000. I think it was March 2000. But it was it was the coldest night of the year. The coldest night of the year. And Lady Colin Campbell says, would you have been dressed like that at that club at Tramp? And the other thing I would say about that is that Andrew was 40-something then. If he'd been seen dancing with, and if he'd been seen in the company of a much younger teenage girl, somebody would have taken photographs. There would have been a big interest in it, and there was nothing there. And she was seen wearing the same outfit months later at Naomi Campbell's birthday party. So, the other thing I'll say about the case, I think that Ghislaine Maxwell's been treated very badly, very, very badly. She's facing like, God knows how many years. She'll be in prison until she dies. But what did annoy me was another case from the Isle of Wight, or around. I think it was the Isle of Wight. A bloke somehow got his hand on a 3-year-old girl, and already raped her, and he got 14 years, which only 14 years, and she's going to be getting a lot more than him. Well, which do you think, which is worse, a bloke violating a 3-year-old girl, or a woman recruiting slightly underage girls to give erotic massages to a bloke who pays them $200 a shot? I mean, and the stuff at that trial she was accused of, I mean, just, I don't know, it just, yeah, I mean, it is, it can be very harsh, although it's double-edged. There's a lot of these people that get these heavy sentences, and they're out sooner than, you know, a lot sooner. But some people get very heavy sentences for fairly trivial offences and end up serving them. And at the moment, you've got people being let out for, you know, for rioting and that, and you have that horrible case. Well, I take it you see that horrible case of that bloke in New York who walked up to a woman on the subway and rubbed, I'd say, dirt in her face. Absolutely, and he was out. Oh, just horrible. There's all sorts of things here. Yeah, there's all sorts of. Yeah, the theatrics, quite right. I mean, they always seem to think this is the worst thing that ever happened to somebody, and well, I think most people would consider being falsely accused of rape to be worse than being actually raped, because you know, if you're raped or beaten up, I haven't been raped, but I've certainly been very badly assaulted, and well, I've got permanent injuries from my 1983 assault, but you know, if you're seriously assaulted, it's something you can get over, but being locked away for years at a time is. I've got quite a few things here. We've got here. Got a lot of stuff from motorway. What's this? Motorway. Yeah, this is a weird case. This is from 1990. I found this fairly recently. It's yeah, precisely. Yeah, precisely. 1990. Yeah, detectives investigating the M20 rape case, a call for inquiry. The decision to disband the squad and close the incident room came after officers failed to find evidence to support the 31-year-old woman's claim. Well, was she? Did they do a rape kit? The alleged attack happened last month on the Kent coast-bound carriageway after a woman's Volkswagen Golf broke down. She told police after scrambling over the roadside embankment to phone for help in the nearby village of Attwood, she came face to face with two attackers, placed a bag over the head and raped her twice. So where was the evidence? A few days later, the woman confessed her story of the. Is that the same one? Oh no. I think it's maybe a different one, but two other rape victims have been not told the police the whole story. Translation: 2 women who claimed to have been raped weren't raped. So I'll probably add one of those cases to the false rape timeline at some point. And there's one 11 years ago here. No, this, I think they got somebody for this. Yeah, detectives to reopen an investigation. The horrific unsolved rape of an 11-year-old girl. Yeah, I think that was a genuine one because I think they got somebody for that. But I've got other. I've got some stuff. I've got a load here from. I found the I think it's a Montana Cayman. It's called. It's the Montana Cayman. It's the student newspaper of the University of Missoula. They've got some interesting stuff there, which I might do a separate video. Well, I might do a separate video on it. Madness in Montana. But there's all sorts of crazy stuff here. I've got a few cases. Well, probably maybe later in the week I'll be adding to the timeline. There's well over 5,000 cases, well over 5,000 cases. They're not all just, there's real rapes as well as indecent assaults, there's magazine articles and stuff. What's this here? There's a payout over false Epstein claims. Oh yes, this is show this the timeline. An interior designer falsely accused of procuring a 16-year-old to be sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein has been given substantial compensation by a newspaper publisher. And this is Susan Hamblin, was at the High Court. The Sun published 3 articles and a video reporting and accused of. So this is a woman who was falsely accused of doing something which something that did happen, but not by her. Yeah. I mean, with proof. Yeah. It's I mean, say rape is a crime that leaves physical evidence, and the whole delay thing. And when women do come forward and claim to have been raped years earlier, they call some junk science expert to testify about rape trauma syndrome. You'll find rape trauma syndrome on the timeline. The original paper, I think September 1974, which it's absolute garbage. Somebody here called Ahmed. What's this? Oh yes, Exeter man cleared a raping man in City Park. I was going to include that, but I've done a bit of work on it, and it's I think it's instead of going to mosque, Mr. Ahmed was going to the pub, and it was a bit. He's not going on the timeline, definitely, definitely not. What is somebody called Jennifer? Who's that? Oh, it's a really weird case. My Australian correspondent sent me this. It's a woman named Jennifer Haynes. She claimed to be sexually abused by her father. He pleaded guilty to something, so presumably there was something that was going on. But the stuff he was accused of doing, it just, I mean, stuff she accused him of doing, just, I mean, you need a. I don't have that much of an imagination. I'm sorry to credit most of what she was accused. She accused him of doing and what he was supposed to have done. I've got 3 cabinet ministers reportedly facing sexual allegations from the Guardian. Done an allegation against Prince Andrew for some woman who claimed he lunged at her. And this is. This shows you how seriously it is to take this garbage. This is this doesn't make you laugh, nothing wrong. Scotland Yard chief urges women who are made to feel uncomfortable by wolf whistling to report incident to police. I mean, seriously. I mean, they call this misogyny. It's just they're batshit crazy, these women. It's a female police officer. And he's from India. We get a lot of stuff from India. I don't include it all because it's the rape there is a lot of these allegations on rape of false promises of marriage. You got the dowry system and everything, but there's a lot of false complaints, and the Indian police are really hot. You know, they got all the latest technology and everything. Carnal, Karnal, carnal cops to act on 20 fake complaints. the carnal police will take action against those who have filed false complaints or got a false rape case, a false case registered. It's prepared a list of such cases. This is from last month, April 2022. Minus 23 persons, of 15 women, 8 men. They just, there's fake complaints of molestation. A woman filed a fake complaint of rape. The same police station, 4 persons got registered a case of thrashing. I just, but the British police could learn from the Indian police. But it's a sort of different climate there. It's they haven't quite lost, haven't lost all reason as a lot of the police in this country appear to have done. What's this here? Anyone from North Wales, BBC. This is she's so slow tonight, isn't it? Come on. Colwyn Bay school rape never happened, court told. I don't know. It's 2014. Trial continues, so I'll have to do a bit further research on that. It maybe it never happened, but the feminist Drakeford. Who's Drakeford? Drakeford. Drakeford. So, look at this. Colwyn Bay school toilets. No, I can't. Boy now 12. How old is he? Some senior politician jailed for rape conviction. 8 years because of sustained rape. Jonathan Drakeford. He earlier admitted to a child sexual offence after communication with a girl he thought was 15 on Facebook. Cardiff Crown Court heard the rape was committed as punishment. Drakeford a low IQ, yeah. I'm sure he's got a low IQ. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, I don't include a lot of. There are genuine cases of rape on the timeline for various reasons. For example, I think last week I did the Maria Clara doctrine from the Philippines on there. There's 2 cases. There's the first one which established doctrine in a woman was gang raped, a married woman was gang raped in 1955. There's a later case of a fairly, I think 2009, where a woman made a false allegation. She claimed to have been raped by two men on consecutive days. One of the blokes he had major surgery on his arm, he'd been attacked with a machete or something, and it's doubtful if he could have. Well, it's a woman actually just made I think it was a teenage girl. Didn't give her age, but they had something called the Maria Clara doctrine there, which is a bit like the feminists believe all women rubbish. Right, well, we've done all right. I was going to do different things, but anyone got any questions to ask me? I will add this to the timeline. When I log off, I will make this private and add some notes to it. So it'll probably go onto my main channel. This is on my main channel. I may go into the False Rape channel in in 3 or 4 days' time. I'll be adding some more stuff to the Full Soap timeline. Yeah, thanks a lot. Well, I'm glad 3 of you turned out. That's the best turnout I've had since about the second or third one, which I had 7 or 8 people. I've been doing them pre-recorded primarily because I've not got a response. Yeah, I mean, but the people get thousands. I mean, if you look at these law channels, so there was one, I think Emily D. Baker. She had, I think, 140,000 people for the Depp, I think it was the Depp trial. 140,000. So it must use it in masses of power. And you got Viva Fry, Runkle of the Bailey, Nate the lawyer, all doing all sorts of analysis. But we'll see about that. I'll be writing something on the Depp trial fairly soon. I just think he should win it. The UK trial was a farce. I've actually appeared opposite both the judge and the defence barrister in that case. The barrister was I think the barrister was well, the judge was Nicol. He was I think it was just a barrister or maybe a QC when I was opposite him in my one of my libel actions back in the early 1990s. And the barrister, is it Sherborne? I think, yeah, I appeared against him in another libel action, which was the second libel action. Yeah, I mean, I think Depp should. Well, Depp's a sad case, but he should. There's no way. Heard is just an absolute liar. But I'll be adding that to Full Soap timeline. At some point, I'm going to add Justice Kavanagh, the fourth witch hunt of him, and a few other things, and Prince Andrew as well. But I'm waiting. I'm hoping that Lady Victoria Harvey will turn up trumps with that. I'd like to see that little bitch Roberts Guthrie in court. I'd like to see her behind bars where she belongs. Lady Connie Campbell said that as well. Okay, so we've been here a little over an hour. So any of you gents want to drop me a line, you can do so a_baron@btinternet.com, or you can contact me through my YouTube account or through the Full Soap timeline. So I'll close this and maybe we'll get 4 people next time. Okay, thanks a lot, gents. Goodbye.